I'll play for you guys real quick. This one is wild. All right. So I'm going to play this for y'all.
You go on a date. He's great. He's sweet. Great eye contact. Chemistry, I think's there. Have a good time. The whole conversation is about how he's ready for a family and he's only looking for a woman who really wants kids. That's the tone. I'm like, great, someone who's serious, who wants a relationship. Fast forward a few dates. It's getting kind of serious in my little pea brain. You know, introduce each other's dogs. We're visiting each other's places. You know, it's getting in this pea brain to the next step. You don't want to know what's going on in his pea brain. So fast forward again. We're having great long walks, great weekends. A couple months go by, having really good, serious talks. One could say there's a little bit of love bombing in there. There's a little bit of future faking in there. So a couple months go by, you're doing one of your 4-mile walks, you're holding hands, the dogs are sniffing the grass, the sun is setting. You're only in mile 1 of the 4-mile walk, mind you. And innocent female thought bubble, I say out loud, silly me, I go, so are we kind of gonna delete the apps? Are we kind of exclusive? What's the plan, Stan? I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole you, but it's been a few months and it seems to be going well. And I'm letting you into my safe space, my emotional, this is my favorite place on earth.
Now, notice how she didn't give him a chance for a while. Then she finally gave him a chance, right? And they're seeing each other for a few months, okay? That's very important to note.
And I don't just let anyone hear. Stupid me. I'll never do that again. Spoiler alert. And this man looks at me dead in the eye, still holding my hand, and says, you know, I don't think so.
So let's go back to, so basically this girl gets this guy, right? The guy chases her around, wants to get in a relationship with her. He doesn't give him the time of day, right? She finally gives him a chance. He dates her for a few months and she, you know, she asks him the proverbial, what are we, right? Let's rewind this a little bit. And as usual, as like expected, what is she doing? Another chick in a car complaining about men on TikTok. Every single time, bro. Never fails.
Say out loud, silly me. I go, so are we kind of gonna delete the apps? Are we kind of exclusive? What's the plan, Stan? I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole you, but it's been a few months and it seems to be going well. And
of course she has this annoying filter on with an annoying voice.
Letting you into my safe space, my emotional,
and a bunch of makeup on, as you guys can tell from her hand versus her face.
My favorite place on earth, and I don't just let anyone hear. Stupid me. I'll never do that again. Spoiler alert. And this man looks at me dead in the eye, still holding my hand, and says, you know, I don't think so. I don't think I want a relationship. I don't think I want to be exclusive. I don't want to be with you. I don't see a future. And I'm like, it was kind of like, you know that meme where it's like the buffering. That was me. I'm like buffering. So my little brain, I'm like, and we're only on mile 1 of 4. My only thought at that time is, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I'm like,
immediately makes herself a victim. Immediately, as usual, get me out of here. Watch what she says next.
I think it's just like being adopted and, I don't know, being a tourist or just being me and having lived in New York. I need to always know there's an escape hatch. Like, where are the exits? How can I leave? I couldn't leave. There was the only way out was finishing this 4-mile walk. And I'm like, and this person stuffs at my house. I'm like thinking to myself, I wish I could like in Sims, I wish I could go to my house before we go back there, remove all of his materials and put them outside in front of his car so that I didn't have to.
You know what's funny? Like, she's losing her mind. She's crashing out basically because this guy isn't sure if he wants to commit to her. And what does she do? She basically validates like why you shouldn't commit to her. Like, you know, it's kind of funny how like women do stupid shit like this and they wonder why they're single. Like, what she doesn't realize, she's not asking herself the right questions. And I said this also in my tweet. He didn't want to commit to you because it's your fault, because you suck. Like, if he dated you for several months and he doesn't want to commit to you, that's your fault. That means you're more than likely a sucky girlfriend, okay? That's what it probably means. But women don't like to hear this shit, right? Like, I go, what she doesn't realize is it's her fault he did not want to commit after months of seeing her. Women fail to realize it's their job to convince the man to settle, not his, right? And the thing is, right, and I think this girl's like a TV anchor or some shit like that. Like, she's like a news anchor or something like that. Like, and this is actually very common with girls that do like, you know, entertainment around social media. Girls that are like in entertainment or social media, another reason why I tell you guys not to wife them is because they don't do wifey duties. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't like do anything that they like should really be doing as a girlfriend or a wife, right? She probably talks a lot. Her voice is annoying, right? So women that are in entertainment, right, or social media don't tend to make good girlfriends because they think, right, their career is good enough. Or, oh, I work really hard, I'm famous, so I get to kind of chill. I don't have to like do wifey duties. And that's fine. A lot of guys aren't really gonna complain about that. But you know what's gonna happen? You're just not gonna get wifed. That's what's gonna happen. So when it's time, right, when you go on a walk with a guy and you ask him, what are we? And he gives you the, I don't know. That's your fault as a female. You do not do a good job of convincing him to get in a long-term relationship with you because you didn't add enough value. So he doesn't know. That's really what it is. That's really what it comes down to. He didn't see any value in taking it to the next level because more than likely she's only good for. And to be honest with you guys, this is where most women actually fall. This is actually where a majority of Western fall. Good for not much more else, which is why he doesn't want to commit. She's lucky he's at least being honest. Like, he could have just been like, oh yeah, let me wife you, and then like, you know, go and see other girls on the side like this nigga Klay Thompson. Right? Which we'll talk about that here in a second too. But the problem here is that most Western, right, are just not good long-term girlfriends. So most of these Western don't have what I call girlfriend game, or they don't have girl game. Girl game, guys, is the ability to keep your guy around, okay? That's what girl game is. Girl game is supposed to be the ability to retain your man, okay? And unfortunately, most women do not have this skill set because in Western society, okay, we tell women to do things to not keep their man. We tell them to focus on work. We tell them to challenge their guy. We tell them to act like a guy. We tell them to basically, you know, that it's okay for them to act like a guy and that men should accept it. This is something that is a problem in the West with women where they don't understand that it's their job to get their guy to commit. It's their job to be so valuable that the man can't see not being with them or wifing them up. And a lot of women don't know this and don't understand this, so they just end up getting left. They ended up where guys don't want to commit to them. They end up where guys just only use them for. They end up as booty calls only, etc. Well, let's go ahead and see what she says here. Let's see the epic quote that she's probably going to come up with.
That, you know, like all of those things. Anyway, so we painfully finished the next 3 miles with him just like, you know, I just tuned it out, but I just let him regurgitate whatever he wanted to get out. I was just like one track mind. I'm like, get home, get back to safety. And I'm telling
get back to say he's not gonna do nothing to you.
My dog like giddy up, and he's just telling me all the reasons why he's like trying to find himself. He's like, he thinks he needs to like date more people. Well, no, first he said the one thing I recall that I was like, he said, I think I need to be away from you to realize that I want to be with you. And
he shouldn't have said that, but at this point, he probably noticed that she was being uncomfortable and like that she didn't want to be like there with anymore. So he just like started to try to repair it and make her feel better.
I was like, he said he'll know he'll miss me when he's away from me and gone. So he needs to figure.
Yeah, she just didn't add enough value, bro. It's that simple. Like, she probably has like a bunch of annoying habits, whether it's she talks too much, she doesn't do acts of service, she's annoying. Like, it's that simple, dude. If you guys were dating for months and he doesn't want to take it to the next level, you didn't do a good job of portraying yourself as a good girlfriend. It's that simple, dude. And I already know why. This girl, like, is a TV anchor or whatever, so I already know she wasn't clean and doing nothing, bro. And I'll give it 1,000 with you guys. White a lot of times are useless, if we're gonna be honest. I'll keep it 1,000 with you guys, bro. I'll keep it all the way a buck with you guys. Like, unless she comes from like a super conservative household, most white aren't going to cook for you. They're not going to clean for you. They're not going to do laundry. They're not going to do none of that bullshit, bro. You're going to have to tell them. And that in itself is annoying. Like white, bro, especially when they go to college and shit like that, they tend to be some of the worst long-term girlfriends, especially if they're college educated, because they don't think that they have to do anything for you as a woman. They think like them working and like making money is like them contributing, not realizing that shit doesn't matter at all. I'll keep it a bug with you guys. Like, now, is this all white? Of course not. But what I've realized with a lot of them is a lot of them tend to be useless. Typically, guys, keep it 1,000 with y'all again. The more educated they are and the more money they make, the more useless they are going to be as a girlfriend for you. Okay? It's that simple, bro. The more educated and the more money they make, the more useless they're going to be. They're not going to go ahead and do the things they're supposed to do as a girlfriend. They're going to be less submissive. They're not going to cook. They're not going to clean. They're going to not do laundry. None of that shit. If anything, they might hire other people to do it, but they're definitely not going to do it, right? Which in that case, why the do you have her? You know what I mean? Like, they're going to want to be able to have their girls' nights. They're going to want to be able to, do what they do, right? You're going to have to you're going to have to really coach a lot of them. And I'll be honest with y'all, like, you're probably not going to want to coach girls like that, Like, there's some girls that just aren't coachable, or there's some girls that aren't worth it. Or there's some girls that you could go ahead and take the time and coach them and make them a better girlfriend and everything, of course, right? If I think she's like younger and she's worth it, right? Let's say she's like 20. Okay, then it might be worth it to coach her, right? She doesn't have that many bad habits. If she comes from like a good family, she's not a 304, whatever, cool. Then yeah, coach her. Teach her what you need her to do, etc. That's fine. But dude, 28, 29, 30 plus, she has a job, she has a career. Like, you're not going to change her, dude. You're not going to change her, you're not going to change her, unfortunately. They're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in doing what they do. They're stuck with the feminist propaganda, right? And that's it. It doesn't make sense for them to change, So you're better off just getting another girl or finding a girl that's younger that comes from a better background, or a girl that's just going to be more naturally submissive. But yeah, most college-educated white are going to be useless girlfriends. I'll keep it 1,000 with y'all. They're just not. If she comes from a good family and she's young, you can coach her. But a lot of them, they don't grow up with certain values. It is what it is. Nobody's gonna tell y'all that, but I will. A lot of them just don't grow up with certain values. They're indoctrinated by the feminism worse than other groups of girls.
Figure that out and feel that feeling first. And I was like, sir, you nuts. So we finally crawl back to my location, and this chicken nugget is like, yeah, so I can stay in your guest room though. Like, it's late. I'll drive back tomorrow. I was like, that's super amazing that you thought that. There's the door. Don't let it hit you. Well, maybe let it hit you on the way out. Skedaddle. And long story short, he was just shocked that I didn't want him to just, tent up and, stay the night. And I mean, these men, these 30-something guys, I think they're just homeless. I don't know. They just want to stay at these women's houses that they meet on these apps. I don't know. I mean, I met.
You were dating her for months. See, now she's mad that he didn't want to take her seriously. Now she's off butthurt and shit. And it's like, dude, you were seeing him for months. You guys were staying at each other's houses already. This isn't something out of the ordinary. It's just that she's mad that he didn't want to commit to her. And like I said before, he didn't want to commit to her. I guarantee you she has bad habits. I guarantee she talks a lot. I guarantee you she doesn't obey. I guarantee you she's not submissive. I guarantee you she thinks her opinion matters, right? She comes from an industry where, she's on TV all the time, right? She probably has bad habits. She still goes out with her friends, probably still parties, probably still hangs out with her male counterparts. These are all things that men don't like. And that's why he's like, you know what? I'll keep seeing her. I'll keep hooking up with her, but I'm not going to wife this girl. And she thought that she was worthy of being wifed up. And now she's getting the reality check no. And she's pissed off about it. She doesn't like it at all, which is kind of funny. But, it is what it is, I guess, with a lot of these women. I told you guys before, women don't take L's very well. They really don't, dude. Women do not take L's very well at all.
On Instagram, red flag. I won't do that again. But yeah.
Wait, what did she say? She met him on Instagram?
30-something guys. I think they're just homeless. I don't know.
No, you just are a shitty girlfriend, dude. He didn't want to commit to you. That's even more proof that he didn't want that she was a shitty girlfriend. He's in his 30s, bro.
I just want to
he's not even thinking about for her.
Stay at these women's houses that they meet on these apps. I don't know. I mean, I met him on Instagram. Red flag. I won't do that again. But yeah, I just look back at that and I'm like, I pride myself in being able to see these things, I would think, in advance or miles away. But even the best get got, I mean, dang. So I'm just happy as a clam with me and my pupperoo.
Yep, she's going to be a cat lady, bro. She's going to be a cat lady, bro.
Because my safe space is my safe space. And it was a good lesson learned. No more.
And once again, what I tell you guys, another girl in their car complaining on TikTok, bro. It's fantastic because now we have like all this, data, right? We have all these receipts. Be a dude, honestly, if I'm gonna be like, it's so incredible to like watch as modern lose their minds, right? They just lose their minds on this shit. So
these individuals get to be in my safe, like my happy spot. So like my apartment and stuff, like you're gonna have to be with me for like probably 12 months, like to a year, like before I'm gonna let you, enter my space again. But I like, what is going on? Like, I get it. Like, if you don't want commitment, like, say it straight up so we can save everybody's time and emotion.
no, you're just useless. Like, again,